It's time to present Scott duPont to bring you another episode of Finance Your Movie with tips and strategies to help you get your money to tell your story. It's time!
Welcome. We have a jam-packed show today. I am thrilled to be here with Bob and Barbara Bell, the team behind ucresults.com. Bob is a serial entrepreneur, and his beautiful, loving life partner, Barbara, is right there in the trenches with him. How are you guys?
Oh, we're great, Scott. Great. Good to be here.
Good to see both of you. I like that artwork behind you. It looks really cool.
Thank you. We picked that up, several years ago.
Several years ago. Jonas Gerard original.
A local?
He was a local, yes, but he also did work for the White House.
Oh, wow. Wow. So what we're going to talk about today, this is going to be a fascinating, truly fascinating episode because you came on to this documentary film, Movie Money Confidential, and then after a little while, you actually doubled your investment, you guys. So want to talk about that a little bit. But before we get into it, this is a big spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want to know what all the movie critics are talking about, some are confused, some really love it, some are not really loving of it, go back and watch the movie first, or this might want you to go back and watch the movie a second time if you've seen it already. So we're going to jump right in. There could be some spoilers here, just throwing that out there. So first thing I want to share, when I first reached out to you, Bob, and then we talked to you and Barbara, this was a documentary film, and everyone that put up some investment dollars would have the opportunity to have their name in the credits. They would be on camera, hopefully talking about their business or their brand. And that, you remember that part, right?
Absolutely. That was very appealing.
Okay. So you had come on board with some money. I want to, before we connect the dots, because I want to drill down how we got from the initial investment to you doubling the investment. But this will be really interesting because you always hear about the husband and wife thing. You guys are kind of the yin and yang, the perfect team together. I've always known you guys that since your wedding day. But I wanted to connect the dots. Initially, I reached out to you, Bob. What is the conversation that happens on a risky movie investment between the husband and the wife? Like, you put down the phone with Scott. What kind of conversation? Barbara's smiling right now. I hope it wasn't that bad. No, because the audience really wants to know this kind of thing. Like, what happens?
Well, I can tell you from my perspective, when he first told me about it, and I kind of had a lot of questions. That's the yang part of our relationship. He goes for it, and I hold back, and I say, no, let's look into this further. I want more details. It was exciting, and his excitement is contagious. So it's really, I'm kind of fighting a losing battle. So I got excited too, and at first it was just going to be our names in the credits, and then it kind of built from there. So then it got very intriguing and kind of scary, to be honest. But I'm glad we followed through with it.
No. What was the scary part? And we'll get there in just a minute. Was it being on camera?
Yeah, just being on camera.
Okay.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Okay. So I want to kind of hear your version of the story, and I'll tell you my version of the story. Rick's not here, the director, to tell his version of the story, but I want to kind of connect the dots with what happened. So as you know, this was kind of halfway through our fundraising process, and we needed a certain amount of money to break escrow and start shooting the film. And I said, I wasn't sure how far we could push Rick without compromising his director, his integrity. Can we get the products in there? Can we mention the name? Can we have like a little graphic? And then he kind of shocked me. He's like, I don't want any wording, any titles underneath people's names at all. And if you saw the movie, there's no titles underneath each person that pops up. So I'm like, oh, wow. And I said to Rick, I walked into the production office and I go, what can we do to ensure that Bob and Barbara get all their awesome health products that they're doing? I love the coffee, by the way. Highlighted, like if we can't have a chyron in the lower third. And then he kind of sat back in his chair and he said, you know what the hell? Let's just go on put a huge infomercial, a commercial in there. And I thought he was joking at first. And then he kind of came up with this crazy Eddie, these old commercials that used to run in the 70s and 80s. So that's where I came back to you guys. And I said, hey, we're actually willing to do this. I don't know how long it's going to be, a commercial, an infomercial. Basically, you're going to like pitch your products. And then what happened on your end?
Go ahead.
I just have known Scott, you and I go back so far, and always loved your creativity and saw you go through a lot of great entrepreneurial things. You've seen me go through things, and I've always followed you. And you start talking about this movie and about financing movie and entrepreneurship, and my background with the Boys and Girls Club, working with kids and helping them kind of see a bigger picture in life than what's usually laid out in front of them, and Scott's work with nonprofits too. I'm like, man, this could really be neat, and connecting with somebody that really knows what they're doing, and mentioned the Blair Witch Project, and we got talking back and forth. And so it was exciting. And then to be, oh my, we might be on camera. There's part of the ham in me that, yeah, I could do that. That'd be kind of fun, and help promote us and help promote Scott. And I love a win-win situation.
And Barbara, even though you were a little nervous, you said, all right, we'll drive down to the soundstage, full day of shooting. We'll do it.
Yeah, like I said, his excitement is contagious. And so I figured I'll go and support and let him do all the talking, and I'll just kind of be in the background or whatever. Didn't turn out quite like that. But it was exciting to see behind the scenes. So that part, I think, pushed me to just go ahead and feel the fear and do it anyway, and see what it's like to actually be on a movie set and get, to be the talent. That cracked me up. That we were the talent.
You guys were the talent. Let me ask you this honestly. Did you ever think, when that one half day you guys shot down at G Star Studios, that you guys would end up being the stars of the movie? And I'm not joking around. You have more screen time than Selma Hayek. Did you ever think that this would be like the stars of the movie?
No. No.
You guys are kind of laughing right now, but in case you haven't seen these, I'm going to read just a few sentences from just a few of the movie review critics, not the audience reviews. So here's one from movieblogger.com. Rick Pamplin practically shares a masterclass in film business. The documentary never feels like a forced move to sell itself, even when it goes meta and uses product placement in an experimental turn of the script. Another one from Midwest Film Journal. The movie itself turns into an advertisement for a healthcare powder product. Behind the scenes, Pamplin talks about whether it's ethical to turn part of your film into a paid advertisement. And then one more from Projected Figures. Bob and Barbara Bell openly use their time on camera to plug their own brands. Like literally, by the way, all the movie critics that bring this up in the middle of their reviews, they all love the movie.
That's awesome.
Well, that's good.
No, they do. You've seen some of the audience reviews, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we've seen the audience reviews. Yeah.
So I really got to hand it to you guys and Rick, of course. It was kind of a genius. I can't take any credit for that. How he kind of mishmashed. I don't even want to call it a commercial, an infomercial, a 60 minutes piece, an interview. I mean, it's like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It was just like those commercials back in the day, like you were saying. It's just he made it fun and kind of believable, but yeah, believable. And just as you had said, it kind of helped because it's at a point in the documentary where, people need to be, sparked up a little bit. And it was some fun that he could put us in to do that and all come together. And then, several weeks later, you called me and said, I think we got Burt Reynolds coming to interview. And it was like, oh my gosh, Scott, this is just becoming such an amazing project and a cool thing that it does have a Blair Witch Project kind of feeling. So it's like, it keeps getting more exciting.
Yeah. And you guys were in the audience down in Jupiter when we did that. And it was, what was the term? Jolting or something, that term, but it was jolting. I mean, it was like a tire screech in the middle of the movie. So you gotta see the, even if you just go see Bob and Barbara's part, go check out moviemoney.com. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. If anything, who knows, you might try to do something like that in your own film. I don't know if it'll work. It's already been done. But, so here we are. It's amazing how time flies after the pandemic. It's been probably 3 years or so since we actually filmed. Now that the movie finally got a distributor, it's out. Did you have, and by the way, it's pretty cool you're still talking to me because you haven't gotten a single penny back on your investment yet. But we know it's coming, something. Was there any time where you're like, hey, when's the money going to come? Or did you have any anticipation about the film getting out, or, on the financial side? I know we're friends, but I'm just trying to kind of help the audience out here. What real movie investors think.
Well, to be honest, the experience was worth the investment we put up, and the investment we put up wasn't part of our daily spending needs. It's an investment. It's another avenue. There's all kinds of areas of investment, stocks and land and movies, and that's been your expertise, Scott. And so mine, like, well, we're in it this time, and it's been fun, and I learned more about it. And if this one's not the one, well, there's probably going to be another one. So it was kind of a learning curve and being involved. So I feel like we got a great adventure for our money.
We got a payoff. We got our payoff basically already. Yeah. So anything else will be gravy.
It's funny you just mentioned there might be another movie in the future, because there actually is another movie in the future. We can't quite talk about it yet, but that movie will be out January. I just heard from the director, January 2023, which kind of by default, you guys are also investors on that. So hopefully we'll see some results from this in a couple months. Hopefully we'll see some money coming in. And speaking of results, what's the best way to follow you guys or to reach you guys?
Well, that would be ucresults.com. And we also have a Facebook page for UC Results on Facebook.
Awesome. Pretty amazing. We got through this whole interview and you guys didn't really talk about your product. So you got to go see the movie for the entire, like, a lot of people like, what is ucresults.com? So go see the movie and you'll find out. And before we go here, both of you, any exciting things going on in your lives? Because I know you're kind of a lifelong entrepreneur, and that's what I love about you, Bob, and you too, Barb.
Oh, thanks, Scott. We have, and Barb looks at me and it's like, you're 62 now, Bob. Why do you want to start another adventure or venture? And we are really excited about this new overlander industry, and people want to be outdoors more. And so mind, body, and spirit, we're about, getting people together and having fun. We invested in a property here in Old Fort, and we have a website there too, Carolina Mud. getting together with other people who have rigs and like to enjoy the outdoors and camping. And kind of creating a family center, family outdoor center, have some live music and small venues. Really exciting for a kind of a retirement fun business.
So for those in our Millionaire Flicks audience who might be catching the premiere, can you describe what Overlander means?
Yes, it's the phenomenon of I used to, back when Scott and I were younger, we'd hop in a Chevy Blazer and go out and go camping right out of a truck, and maybe have some kitchen utensils and a stove or a fire for a stove. Well, these days the technology has gotten to the point where you can turn your truck into an RV, and it's called Overland. You put a tent on top of your vehicle, and you have refrigerators you can put in that run on 12-volt batteries. And it's pretty phenomenal, the technology that's come out. I enjoy robotics, working with the Boys and Girls Club, and it kind of was a nice blend of people coming together with these rigs, a lot of them homemade rigs, and sharing how they did it and the adventures they went on. And overlanding is more about the journey rather than a destination. Most people look at a vacation as a destination, I want to get there. Overlanding is more about the journey and connecting with other people, kind of like the RV scene. But in my opinion, it's a little more rural. A lot of RV parks, you have a lot of people right up on you and next to you, and it's almost like another suburbia. We're looking for land and people that want to be out in the open more and enjoy more wide open spaces on their own or in smaller groups.
Awesome. Do you have a website for all that yet, or do you want people just go to UC Results?
UC Results is the wellness business, coloradomud.com.
Carolina Mud.
Excuse me. I was in Colorado for 9 years and still have fond memories. But no, carolinamud.com. And we want to eventually start ovc.com. We got the GoDaddy site to develop a membership and a sort of a club of overlanders.
Cool. Well, speaking of adventures, I want to thank you both for being adventurous and doubling your investment. It was a big part of helping our movie get towards the place where we could break escrow and start filming. And I wanted to thank you both just for the cool adventure, because your 3 or 4 minutes, whatever, 2 or 3 minutes in the middle of the movie really was the most unique, crazy thing. And it was quite an adventure. I really loved hanging out with you guys.
So it was our pleasure. I love being an innovator with you, Scott.
Yeah. And we'll probably have some sort of premiere on the second movie, which the new movie you guys are invested in, probably November, December.
Fantastic.
So we'll keep you posted. Thanks
Always
a lot for coming on, guys. Remember, go see moviemoney.com. And you'll see the dynamic duo of Bob and Barbara Bell. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. Have a super day. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening. And remember, it's time!
There's never been a better time to make your own indie film. And if you have a dream project you're excited about and 100% committed to getting it funded, go to financeyourmovie.com and click on the green telephone button. You'll see our calendar, and if you find an open spot, grab it. You'll get a one-on-one call with me or one of my partners. It will be the best hour you've ever spent getting clarity and strategy towards financing your movie. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.